Hi YouTube, and welcome back to my Let's Play World of Warcraft and doing Warlords of Draenor. And we finally have my garrison, as you will have seen in my last episode. And so this is the basic garrison, as basic as it gets. And yeah, I'm just kind of looking at the first quest that I've got to go do and everything. And some of the quests that we're going to do will help us gather the resources we need. It's one of the things that they've added to the game is the gathering of resources that you can use to build your garrison with. So obviously your garrison's going to need, supplies, equipment, etc. And so some of the quests as you're doing them out in the world require you to, or will reward you with garrison supplies and things, so that you can then do your upgrades and that kind of thing. So that's one quest we've got, and now there's also a big bad Ogron guy that we've got to go after as well. And here I'm kind of running around like, okay, which way am I going? I've got two entrances to the garrison. One is over here on this side, and I'm looking around and I'm like, oh yes, that's right, we gotta motivate our orcs. Why is it always with the lazy orcs? I don't know how many of you remember that. I mean, that harkens back to the day of the troll and orc starting area back in vanilla, where you had to go around clubbing lazy orcs who were sleeping on the job. I don't know if they had anything like that for any of the other starting areas. It was just orc. I think it was just orc, because orcs and trolls had the same starting area back in the day. I think they have separate ones now. The trolls actually have their own starting area, which is probably pretty cool for them. But they both trolls and orcs started in the same area originally, and there was always that quest to motivate those lazy orcs. And I've seen them kind of repeat that in other quests, and it's actually, like, it has nothing to do with your race anymore. It's just like everyone gets to motivate those lazy orcs. Well, everyone in the horde anyway. Alright, and so he's the head orc, and he's been called to duty, so and things. So anyway, so now we've kind of got some of that motivation stuff going. Now we'll go on to the next bit of business here. And just kind of there's like all these little starter quests that they always have you do at first, and things, and I'm leveling up nicely. I'm past the halfway point already for the first level, so I'll be hitting level 91 eventually. That'll be fun. And from the beta, I mean, I don't know how much of what I got to experience in the beta ultimately made it to this final version of the game. But if things keep going the way they're going, like, okay, so you have your main garrison, but then there's different areas in Draenor, and you get to build yet another resource in that zone. So in each zone you get to build your own little kind of headquarters, and those headquarters end up like, one, they give you a resource that you can use when you're fighting in that zone, and they also provide additional resources that get sent back to the garrison. So that's kind of cool. I like the fact that this all gets tied in together and everything. And even though those smaller outposts, as it were, are not a full garrison, they're kind of tied together with the garrison and things. So there, I was just kind of checking there, and I'm still trying to remember my way around the garrisons here, because as the garrison gets upgraded and grows, the pathways change around a little bit, so I'm like, oops, got lost. Alright, so now I'm like, I don't even see these things on the screen, but I think I gotta go this way. And now I'm going after the resources and the big Ogron guy. And I've gotta go down this way. And there's lots of little kind of side things you can do along the way. You can see in the mini map that there's a boss being indicated up in the map, and here I'm trying to go find him. And then I think he's in that cave over there, but I think I end up kind of going past it, and then I lose sight of him on the mini map. And then I kind of just like, okay, screw it. I'm just gonna go finish my quest and come back and find this guy later. So, but they're out in the world, and if you defeat them, they have some pretty sweet loot that they drop. And you'll see that in a little bit later, because I do end up going after them. And here I'm just kind of like looking for him over here, and I'm like, okay, screw it. I'm just gonna do my quest first. Do the quest first, come back. And then besides that, there's also like little side quests and things that you can do just out in the environment. So when you're out in the world, just wandering around, you may encounter areas where there's additional quests that you can do that aren't part of the main storyline. They're just, they're just literally side quests, but they really help with a lot of the, you can get some decent golden loot and stuff from doing them. So. And especially if you start running out of other quests to do and things, it's just something more to do. Alright, so I'm just kind of picking up these things, and here I was just like checking to make sure I had all my indicators on and I forgot because my other my Death Knight character, she is a skinner and a miner, and my paladin here, she is an herbalist and an alchemist or something like that, and I forgot about that. So I was like, where's the fine rocks? Oh, never mind. And at this point it's too late for her to start over again. It really is. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna keep her doing the herb gathering and stuff. I've never got her doing the alchemy that much. Here I'm trying to figure out where I need to go to get the Ogron guy. Is there a cave down there? Is a cave up there? I'm not sure. I'll take out this guy while I'm at it. At least these ogres are pretty easy to deal with. And you notice that I just picked up a scroll, and I'll be taking a look at that in a moment. And so that was first aid in Draenor. So that's one of the things that you do. Instead of having to find a vendor to teach you the latest first aid and stuff, you just end up getting these drops in world now, so you don't have to stop questing to get to learn it and things. And here I was stupidly trying to find the scroll in my pack to learn it while I'm in the middle of a war zone. Yeah, smart me. So now I've got these two guys I've got to deal with. Okay, never mind. Maybe we should do the first aid later. Not that I really even need first aid as a paladin, because I've got all the self-healing abilities and just never use the potions or the band-aids or something. Stuff like that. I mean, I have them up. You can see them in my action bar in the top right over there. But it's not something that I use very frequently. Just because I do have all those self-healing abilities, and so it's like I don't really necessarily need them. But it's always good to keep the skill going, so, because you never know if and when Blizzard decides to nerf a paladin's self-healing ability, and you might need those things. Okay, so now I'm trying to do the first aid scroll. And then we'll also get other drops in terms of, I think, cooking and fishing, and, like for me, herbalism, and, just the various skills that you need, to level up on and things, instead of going to a specific vendor or teacher or whatever. Alright, so now we're gonna go after the big Ogron guy, and he lives down here. And there's other people here as well. And, the nice thing is, people still will invite you to group to do these things, but you don't actually have to, join together as a group in order to take them down and get credit anymore. Especially when it's a big dude like this. If it's the easier kills and things, then you don't get credit. If you both attack at the same time, the other guy, you know, gets the first hit in, you lose the credit for it. But for the larger quest and boss kills, you get to share the credit and stuff if you're both participating in fighting things. So I like that. So there we go. The other guy hit first, but I'm still able to pick up at the quest completion and loot the body. So that's a nice change, because I don't always want to, especially when it's a quest related one, I don't always want to join a group. I think joining groups, I like playing by myself. Call me a selfish loner, but you know, I like playing by myself. That's one of the things I like about some of the changes that they've done is, like, in the past there were quests and things that you had to have a group. It just absolutely wouldn't even let you do it unless you had a group. And so there were a lot of things I wasn't able to do in the game because I didn't have a group, or especially when it came to quest chains and stuff, where I had to do a group thing before I could move past it and get to the next group of quests. And so I'd have to go beg my guildmates, hey, is anyone out there that can help me? Because I'm always way behind. I mean, I play, I've never played that many hours a week on the game, and so everyone else was like way past where I was, by 2 or 3 months worth, and by the time I got to any of the content, they'd played, or done that stuff to death. And so I'd have to, beg and plead, like, can you please help me? And I kind of hated doing that, so I'm glad that you can solo. In terms of just pure questing, you can solo the game perfectly fine. You don't need to ever join a group or a guild or anything if you don't want to. Obviously, if you want to get into some of the raid content, that kind of thing, well, you don't even need to necessarily be in a guild for that. You can get to that just through the dungeon finder system nowadays. Alright, there's a lot of orcs in here, and I'm trying to get to the one guy that I'm supposed to kill. Well, the one that's the boss. You can see the skull in the mini-map. I'm trying to sneak past these guys. I'm like, okay, I can't sneak past these guys, but there's fewer on the right than the left, so I'm gonna do this. Clear out the right side. And these guys are a little tougher than the ogres, so it takes me a little longer to kill them. But you can see how I was thinking that, you take Gronlings and ogres and you end up with these Ogrons. I mean, these guys kind of look like a hybrid between an ogre and a Gronling. In many ways. So I have to wonder if they aren't exactly that. Yep, and I got 2 of these guys attacking me now, so let's take one out pretty quickly. Alright, one down, next one to go. And then I'm gonna have to heal myself as well. Oh yeah, this guy shows up. And I think he ends up joining, inviting me to a group, and I'm like, yeah, okay, fine, whatever. I don't want to be rude. And we're clearly both after the boss dude down here, so here I'm giving him a blessing of kings and stuff, just because, I'm trying to be nice, even though I don't necessarily want to be, But yeah, there's no way of pulling him without pulling these other guys, and there was no way of pulling those other guys without pulling him, so it's just kind of like a big cluster. So these fights are helpful to do with other people that you can't. Not necessarily impossible to do without them, but definitely helps to have someone to take things down quickly and things. So here we go, ta-da! And you can see there I won basically a cloak. So and it's a nice cloak too. So that was kind of cool. Alright, and then from here I think I just hearth back to the garrison. So that was my first set of quests being assigned from the garrison. So with the next episode, I will be doing some upgrades and adding a building to the garrison. The first one you get to build is barracks. There's actually a quest for it, so you kind of have to build a barracks. You don't have a choice on that one. But once you get past that, I think you get a lot more latitude and you get choices in terms of what buildings you want to put in. And you can't put in all the buildings that are available. There's way more buildings that you can put in than are slots available. So you're going to have to make some strategic decisions in terms of, you know, what kind of buildings you want. Since my character is an alchemist, obviously I want the alchemy lab things, and you have to deliver, you know, herbs to the alchemy lab. So that's, you know, so being an herbalist helps. But if you're more of a miner and a skinner, there's additional buildings that are more appropriate for those things. So anyway, I hope that you guys are enjoying this series. If you do, please share, please like, please subscribe if you haven't yet. And until next time, take care.